Hey guys, this is Bruce, and this is the Build Baby Build Show. What are we building? We're building you, we're building your business, and we are building your real estate empire. Mainly your commercial real estate empire. So let's get into it. If you like the show, like me down below or comment. If you want to message me directly, message me at askbruceaquestion@gmail.com. It's real easy. Okay, guys, we talked a little bit about terminology. We talked about three big terms, and we talked about them high level. We could spend hours digging into those, and I actually have a boot camp where we do, and we'll dig into those until you'll become an expert at it. But what are those three things? Triple net, which has to do with understanding your leases and how expenses get paid by your tenants and what that means kind of contractually and how you're going to get paid. So how you actually allot the money for that. Net operating income, which is really kind of the other side of the triple net. You know, the triple nets are all the expenses. Your net operating income is what's left over after that. That does not include your debt side. And then cap rate, which is really kind of your measurement of risk, some sort of percentage that someone thinks that you are going to make, whether it's you, the seller, however that gets calculated, there's some value that you will be able to calculate. And you'll be able to use things like your NOI to value a property, and it will help you do some sort of a quick and dirty analysis to decide if that's a property that you want to do more due diligence on. So as you start setting parameters and building what we call your buy box, right? So if you're going to a broker or you're going to people on your team, a lot of times people are going to say, what are you looking for? Right? What is it you're looking for? So when I see it, I can call you and tell you I found what you're looking for. I call it your buy box. You're going to hear that quite a bit, right? So you're going to have parameters. You're going to say, I want a cap rate that's at least X, right? It could be 10, it could be 4, and more than likely it's somewhere in between those two numbers. But guys, when you start talking about multifamily and really, really nice high-end assets, downtown properties, you're probably buying those around 4s, right? When you're buying older stuff that's kind of maybe out of the major markets and doesn't really appreciate and grow that quickly, you're probably looking at things closer to 10. Now, I know that because I'm an experienced investor. I look at a lot of deals, and these are just things you kind of learn over time. And you'll get more comfortable as you process more of those deals. So the real question is, now that you know this stuff, that's in every conversation you have. If you're at a networking event with people talking about real estate, you're at an event doing almost anything else to do with real estate, those three terms will get you through most conversations. So people ask me, hey Bruce, when you're looking at a deal, what do you do? So guys, I look at commercial property almost exclusively. So my deals are office, and they are retail, and they are office warehouse or flex space. So think of when I say office, I'm looking for smaller infill office properties under 20,000 square feet. I'm not looking at building anything. I like older properties, something that needs me to breathe some life back into it. When I look at a property like that, I can usually get a little bit better cap rate. I like to be 7 or 8 or better. And so what I tell people to put in my buy box is, if you bring me a 7, you better come to me with an idea, some sort of vision of, hey Bruce, I know it's a 7, it's advertised as a 7, but if you would just do this, if you just tweak this, I think we could get it up to a 9, 10, 11, right? So I'm asking people, go find me something that's terrible or old or rough or whatever the thing is. Come bring me the idea. I'll buy that thing. If I agree with you, I'll put the group together and I'll buy it. That works very well on retail. It works very well on office. When you're talking about flex space is got a much lower price point. Now, it's not as expensive. It doesn't move and appreciate quite as much. When it comes to flex, you really have to be careful, and I would calculate most of that purchase NOI and what I'm going to call cash on cash return. So here's a new term for you guys to wrap your head around. Cash on cash means you're going to put a certain amount of cash on a deal. Let's say you're putting in a down payment. Again, let's use $1 million. You're doing $1 million deal, and the bank wants you to put 25% down. You're putting $250,000 of your own money or investors' money down, right? But that's real live cash. So after you do the whole deal, you have some net operating income. And from that net operating income, you still have to pull some debt. So, and guys, I'm just going to rattle off numbers to give you a concept and try and keep them round. Obviously, you can plug this into any calculator you can find online. But let's just say your debt service on your $750,000 is $75,000 a year. And let's say that your NOI on that $1 million building is $100,000 a year. What's left over? So you've taken your NOI, that's 100. You've now subtracted your debt. You're left with $25,000. Now you put $250 down. So out of the $250 of cash that you actually took out of your pocket, you're making $25,000. Now, I was just noodling this. It seemed to work out okay, but that's a 10% return, cash on cash. So when you look at something like that, you have got to decide, is that enough to make me want to purchase that deal? Is that something I can go sell to my investors or my partners to say, hey guys, I can get you a 10% return? Now, I don't know what your investment strategy is, and I can't tell you whether that's right or that's wrong. What I can tell you is when I invest in a deal, I look for a bigger number than that. My cash on cash minimum is 13, and that's still not that attractive. I really want to be pushing closer to a 20. When I pro forma a deal, I will be looking for something closer to that. So when I'm looking in my buy box, I like cap rates. They've got to be at least at market interest rates or better. Most deals will not cash flow and pay for themselves if they're not there. Today's interest rate is getting somewhere close to 9%. So if you're not looking at deals that have cap rates close to 9, you're going to have a fun challenge. One, getting that thing financed, and two, making enough money to pay investors. So you're going to have to get pretty creative, and there are creative ways to do it. So don't let that stop you from doing it. The next thing I'm looking for is on my NOIs, my calculations for my caps. I want multi-tenant buildings. I think I've told you that before, guys. I don't want any tenant that has over 50% of the property. I like to have many, many tenants. You know, I have a 5,000 square foot building that has 6 tenants. I feel real good about having that. I like older properties, and I prefer my rents to be right below market average. So they're easy to rent and they can cash flow. So when I pro forma, I'm not going pie in the sky. I'm not trying to come up with a crazy deal. I'm just trying to come up with something that in pretty much any market, I'm going to find tenants, I'm going to make money, and I can give a return to my investors. And if things work out great, which I don't pro forma for, then we make even that much better money. I've bought 7 deals, so I've turned plenty of deals, guys. I've probably made 100, if not 150 offers. So again, I was talking a little bit about being emotional when you make these choices. You're going to spend time, you're going to tour this property, you're going to fall in love with the property, you're going to do all this due diligence, you're going to crunch these numbers, you're going to have the coolest ideas, the greatest investment ideas. You're going to have talked to investors, and you are ready to go. And you're going to make that offer, and it is not going to be accepted, or somebody's going to have beaten you to the punch, and you're going to lose. There's lots of reasons to lose these deals. I've lost some that did hurt. I've lost some really good deals that I did not move fast enough on. So it does happen. It will happen. Be ready for it to happen. But when you, as a matter of fact, funny story, I don't want to drag this on any longer. I've actually lost deals because I moved too fast. Because I think the seller thought, well, man, if somebody moved that fast, I must be selling it too cheap. And they were right. But so you have to, don't get emotional. Just trust your instincts. Go after the deals completely from a business position. Make your decisions off the finances, what your returns are. If you don't know what you really should or need to have, sit down with a coach or a mentor or somebody you know that has the experience who can give you good advice. Listen, if you're going to make money on a deal, it's probably worth doing. You might find out after you do that deal that you would have liked to have made more money. You had great ideas. If you'd only known them then, you could have made more. Well, guess what? That's part of the learning process, and you can apply those on the next round. If you're looking for help with underwriting, I do have a boot camp. If you're curious to find out about that, ping me at askbruceaquestion@gmail.com and like and subscribe below. And don't forget, comments, guys. If you have questions, drop them in the comments or shoot me an email. I hope this helped today. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks.